Alvin Brown Beats.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. I would say welcome back, however I have never formally introduced me. Who is she? Yes, me. Anyways, for those who don't know, my name is Mati. Some people know me as Tara or aka Where, or sometimes just the girl that makes those videos or sings. So I've had my YouTube channel for quite some time. I'm just gonna give you a little backstory because everyone loves a little backstory, especially ones that people don't ask for. But basically I've had my YouTube channel for quite some time and I've just realized, I was like, I have never actually introduced myself to YouTube. I just wanted to put it out there that my YouTube channel doesn't cater to a specific audience. I love to just post anything and everything, so that's my bio in my YouTube channel. I literally post anything and everything. So it's, one day it will be vlogs, one day it will be singing videos, one day it would be like completely absolutely nothing to do with any of those two. So that's just an idea of my YouTube channel, is that I post literally everything. I'm still trying to figure out what is my purpose. I decided to make a Q&A just for you guys to get to know me a little bit more. I mean, some of you guys already know a lot about me because I love to put my life out there. That's what gets me in trouble a lot. So yeah, big thank you to everyone who has sent questions through. Thank you very much. Also, if you have any ideas on what to post on this YouTube channel, feel free to let me know because I would love to know. But don't hate, guys, I do have gear in here in case some of you guys might be thinking that I'm just gilling it. Yeah. So I have I have four, I think. Yeah, I think I have four. So I have this one over here. I have this one over here. I have one over here. And I have one over here. So I have four. That's 8. 4. I don't really have a skincare routine. I mean, for some people they would need a lot more skincare products than others. As for me, I use this one skincare product, so I use this in the day and the night, and then I just moisturize. So that's me. But just bear in mind that sometimes you could buy so many products and it's probably not the product, it's most likely you not drinking enough water, exercising, eating healthy, I don't know, whatever. Sometimes products are good and it just depends on the person's eating or just how they use the product, somewhere in between those things. So yeah, for me, I just use this and it's been very helpful. So this is a common question that I have received, is the differences of me living in Australia and New Zealand. So just the pros and the cons of living in each country. Now for those, in case anyone comes for me, I will just put it out there, I feel like I've lived in both countries for a fair amount of time to be able to say what are my pros and what are my cons, in case some of you guys are like, bro, you don't know. Well, I'm sorry, I do know, Najix. Alright, so just to give you a backstory, I stayed in New Zealand from the years 1999 right up until 2013, and I stayed in Australia from 2013 right up until 2021. So currently I'm still in Australia, but I mean obviously I'm staying here in New Zealand. Like, anyways, it's just a quick one because I could spend forever on this topic. Food, I personally prefer New Zealand food more than I do prefer Australian food. However, I would have to say that when it comes to kebabs, chips and all those hot stuff that I usually have in Australia, I do highly prefer it in Australia than I do in New Zealand. I haven't found a good kebab place here in New Zealand just yet, so that's what I have to say about food wise. Pies, cookies, everything, so good. Australia has good food, but not as good as New Zealand. Don't come for me, don't come for me. When it comes to the environment and living in each country, I feel like New Zealand is a lot more quiet compared to the Australian life, especially Sydney. If I'm comparing Sydney to where I am right now, which is Hamilton, I would say that I am slow motion right now living here in Hamilton than in Sydney. I'm telling you, Sydney is upbeat. We are on the go 24/7, cars zooming, fighting, police sirens. But here in Hamilton, or just where I'm located, it is super quiet. Even on the roads in New Zealand, that like when we've been traveling, apart from when it's like peak hour and everything, it is super quiet. People drive slow and sensible here. And then you have on this hand here I'm telling you, Sydney life is built differently. Everyone just loves to speed. Everyone just loves to like take those quick turns. Everyone, like, it's so different. New Zealand is really quiet and like a peaceful life, and then you have Sydney, which is like, you know, I'm ready to go type of vibes all the time, city vibes 24/7. So that's how I feel about each. Another thing that I've noticed is that Sydney or Australia is so hot. I mean, who doesn't know that? Australia is so hot compared to New Zealand. So when it comes to the environment, Australia is always like, let's not say burnt, like just everything's always so dry. And then like in New Zealand, everything's like green and fresh and you can breathe. So for me, that is what I would say, is that I can breathe a lot more clearer and cleaner in New Zealand than I can in Australia. Like you'll always be breathing something in Australia. When it comes to education, I feel as if the education system in New Zealand is a lot more strict than it is in Australia. Kids in Australia get away with a lot more than the kids here in New Zealand. That's me though. I don't know, maybe it's the schools that I went to, but I feel like in Australia it was a lot more like a bit calm down, like relaxed than it was when I went to school here in New Zealand. If I was to pick out of the two countries where I would stay permanently and raise my kids and so on and forth, it would be Australia. Now that's for me. However, obviously New Zealand will always be home for me and just a place that I can go to have a holiday, to take a break, relax, etc, etc. Yeah, Australia would definitely probably be where it's at for me. This is a really deep question, but I'm willing to answer it. How to deal with people who talk about you. Number one, do nothing. And what I mean by that is don't even bother, don't respond. Don't give your energy to people who do not deserve your energy. Put your energy to good use, like something else. I don't know, whatever you've been procrastinating on, something that you should have been doing 500 years ago that you need to do. Use that energy on doing that one thing you're meant to do. I know that's probably not the answer you were after, but sometimes no response is the best response, okay? I have no profession in this area, but if you love someone, go ahead. Love them with all of you. That is none of my business. If you gotta date someone who's 20, 30, 40 years older than you, if they make you happy, yeah. If it falls within the law, obviously, then sure, go ahead. You do you. So being away from my family definitely has been the easiest thing for me. It's just too raw for me. But for those who know, I have always, been surrounded 24/7 by my family right up until the day that I left home, which was a couple of months ago. And when you come out of their life being surrounded by family 24/7, it's like you're missing a whole piece of you. It's been really challenging. I have my days where I would be happy, and then I have my days where I do miss home. I did not want to cry in here because that's just not on. But yes, that's just some raw moments for me. Anytime I speak about my family, my mum, like just anyone back home that I do miss a lot, my fur baby, I do tend to get quite emotional. It's been okay. I mean, now I'm absolutely, happy. I'm content with where I am. There will always be a part of me I feel like is missing. Like this is something that is never taken lightly. And what I mean by that is that when a Samoan girl leaves home, it's not like, okay, you go be free, you go do you, etc, etc. There's so much more behind it when a girl leaves home, especially being a Samoan girl. Once you leave home, you've literally stepped into this whole new role and responsibilities. There is so much more than you just leaving home and just starting a new life. There is so much things that comes with it once you've left home. And you also leave with everything that you've been taught from your own family, your upbringing, into this, new era that you're about to begin. Everything that I've been taught from when I was little right up until now, I'm able to, take with me on this new journey that I've started as an independent, Samoan girl who's left home to start her life, elsewhere. And it's a blessing for me, and I'm so grateful. Like, I'm grateful every day that my parents were able to instill in me their Samoan culture and Samoan learning and how to be respectful, how to be a Samoan girl. I am always grateful every single day, that I was able to experience that, only because obviously for some, they weren't able to get the same experience. But that's how it's been for me. The food that I do miss in Australia is like the kebabs, snack packs. I'm sorry, only Australia can make the OGs. How have I been going with wedding plans? To be honest, we have barely spoken about it. Like, we have picked and, you know, added and said, okay, we should have this, we should have that, but nothing on paper just yet. Just brief conversations of what we would want and what we wouldn't want, and where we would have it, and just dresses and suits, etc, etc, but nothing, you know, in concrete or on paper on what exactly we want and what we're looking to do. So these are my siblings. So for those who are asking who's the oldest is him, and then it goes him, and then it goes him, her, and then she. So these are my siblings, and that's the pack. So I'm assuming this means how long we've been together. So we've been together for 7 years in August. Anyways guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for once again sending in your questions. I know that probably wasn't even that much Q&As, but there was so much more, and I didn't want to make this like the longest video of just Q&As. It would be best for me to break it up because it'll probably be a lot more better. From me to you, thank you guys for joining me. Stay tuned for more videos for sure. Make sure you just let me know if you have any ideas. Follow my social medias to keep updated with me, and look after yourselves. God bless.